the new American-born Pope, and a real estate story. My name's Travis Andersen, your local real estate expert. Let's talk about it. Hey, reading directly from People magazine here, Pope Leo's childhood home was taken off the market on the day of his election as the Realtor re-evaluates. Here's how the story goes. Decades ago, the new Pope was a child, and he was growing up in a suburb of Chicago, and he lived there until he was an adult, obviously. His parents later sold the home. It probably sold a couple of times. Last year, it sold to an investor. This person has remodeled the home. When they put it on the market, a buyer came in, wrote an offer, and then backed out for some reason. And then, a couple of days later, it was announced that Leo is the new Pope of the Catholic Church. That day, 7 or 8 brand new buyers that had totally ignored the home previously had written offers, obviously some for more than the asking price, and the realtor says, hold on. Let's not do anything. And the seller and the realtor agreed, let's take it off the market and let's evaluate how we're going to strategize this. So my guess is they're going to try to market it as to generate even more offers than the 7 or 8 that are there. It's very interesting that somebody would pay substantially more for a home because the Pope used to live there, especially when he was a child. Childhood home. It's not like his parents are selling it right now. It's literally an investor that bought it recently. And so it's a very interesting story. I'm not exactly sure how or why somebody would pay more for something like that. I do know there are homes like the Home Alone house. Like I visited that in Chicago. It's a beautiful neighborhood, obviously large 2-story home. And it's got that very unique feel to it. I could see somebody paying like a little bit more for that house. But when you're in that neighborhood, it does stand out. That home literally stands out, so you probably would pay more for it. Anyways, the fact that the Pope grew up in this small little Tudor home that looks probably a lot like all of the other real estate. It's not a fabulous home or anything. He comes from a modest background, which is very neat. But unlike the Home Alone house, where it is this spectacle, the Pope's house was just sort of this little small Tudor home in the suburb of Chicago. So I'm not exactly sure why somebody would pay more. As an agent, as a realtor, I think it's like just move on. Like if you're one of these 7 people competing for this home, I think you should just move on and let's go find a different house. But if it's really your dream to own the home from a Pope when he was a child who hasn't lived there in decades and it was an investor who remodeled it, it's like, all right, cool. Let's figure out how to make that work for you. I think it's an interesting story. Let me know what you think. My name's Travis Andersen here. If you've got questions, do me a favor. Shoot me a call, shoot me a text, hit me up in the comments section. And as always, all my best to you and yours.